friends, this is Caroline of Caroline's Plans. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome here if you are new. This is a plan with me for this past week. I used a kit from My Perfect Plan called Cozy Corner. You'll see that I used bougie boxes from both Sticky Essentials and Scribble Prints Co. in gold. Some other foil items from Scribble Prints Co. and other shops, and date numbers from the Crafty Banana in black. Everything that I used in terms of shops used will be linked down below. And we're going to go ahead and get started with the full boxes. I did choose that Fashion Girl. I love the Fashion Girls in this kit for the upper left hand corner, as well as the scene from the kit for Saturday and Sunday's full boxes. If you have any questions about where any of the specific stickers that I'm using in this video are from, leave your questions down in the comments below, as well as any requests for future videos. I'm always looking to you all for what you want to see from me. It inspires me to try new things or keep doing what I'm doing. Also, please feel free to leave any questions that you have for me, planner related or otherwise, in the comments. I really enjoy using your comments and questions as jumping off points for content for these voiceovers. With that being said, I have a couple of questions that have come in over the week from different places that I wanted to address in this voiceover. So here we go. Anna on the Glam Planner Facebook group asks, what are my favorite foiled scripts from Glam Planner? My favorite of her foiled scripts are the coffee related ones, coffee time, morning coffee, things like that. I use probably at least one in most of my spreads. Same thing with her laundry related scripts, cleaning related scripts, and planning related scripts. I've used most of those from most of the foiled sheets that I have from her shop. The next question comes also from the Glam Planner Facebook group from Judalind. She asked what got me into decorating my planner specifically. Actually, Elle's channel, her Glam Planner channel, got me into decorative planning, specifically with kits. I started watching Elle for her beauty content, and through that channel heard more and more about her planner content, started watching that channel, and became inspired to plan with stickers. I had always kept a journal or a planner of some sort, just more of a bullet style in a written journaling format. But this style really appealed to me in the sense that it was more decorative and a fun way to express myself that way. Let's see. Sharon from the Glam Planner Facebook group asks, do you know what the week will look like before laying down stickers? How do you plan out your spreads? So you're seeing part of the planning process here in the video, but there is a lot that goes on before I'm ready to put any stickers down, so I wanted to go through that verbally here. I do start in my EC folio. You haven't seen it yet. I want to do a setup video in my EC folio once I have all of the pieces. I'm still waiting on some things to come in the mail for that. Excuse me, but I do intend to do a full EC Folio setup video soon. From my EC Folio, I take the events that I've jotted down that I want to include in my decorative planner, and I narrow those down to about 6 or 7 of the most important things to include. The next step is I take those 6 or 7 events and I number them, just put little numbers next to the things that I've written down in chronological order. I do like to lay out the days in my planner and the specific events that I want to mark down in chronological order. The third step is that I have recently started pulling the stickers and icons and scripts that I want to use throughout the spread ahead of time. I used to pull them as I was planning and as I was filming, and it really made the editing process a lot more laborious. It was just a lot more work to pull things as I went rather than pulling them beforehand. It's just a lot faster. And I'll put them out, all of my stickers and all of my scripts and everything that I've pulled, on a leftover sheet of sticker paper just to keep things organized. And lately I've also taken that extra sticker paper and labeled it with extra days of the week. So I have my stickers for Monday altogether, Tuesday altogether, etc. Then I start the base with the bottom washi, putting down the bottom washi and any overlays, the full boxes. And the way that I organize my full boxes, as you can see here, I generally do a top bottom alternating style. I've seen it where other people do ascending styles where they start maybe at the bottom corner and work their way up through the middle, or the top corner and work their way down through the middle that way and up again diagonally on the right side. However, that's not my style. I prefer to sort of do top bottom alternating, and then whichever position the scene winds up on, I'll just put those two together side by side. As you can see here, Saturday and Sunday are together because they are two parts of a scene that are both on the top, since the previous day, Friday, was on the bottom. I hope that makes sense. Let's see. I do put some thought into the placement of the boxes. For example, I try not to put boxes that are too similar, too close together. Similar might mean in terms of color or style. I try not to put two flat lays too close together on the same side, or two boxes with people in them on the same side, things like that, or too close together. If you're just starting out, the first time that I did this method, I used very small little sticky notes and placed them around the spread with little notes to myself written on them as to which box I wanted to put where. So for example, I would label the sticky note Fashion Girl and put it on the spread where I wanted to put the Fashion Girl, so I could move things around a little easier before having the actual stickers down and having to pull up stickers and put them back down where I wanted them. It's much easier to reposition sticky notes rather than actual stickers. But now I pretty much just eyeball it. I have my system pretty well cemented in my head. It's working well for me, so I'm able to do it much quicker, and it doesn't take as much planning, I suppose. I did get that idea. The idea for using sticky notes came from Taylor of Tattoo Teacher Plans. It wasn't my original idea. I saw her do this as a part of her pre-planning in previous videos. So I've used that myself and it's worked out well. If anyone would like to see a more in-depth demo of me putting down the base and doing this process of going back and forth with my AC folio, organizing my thoughts, organizing events, putting down base stickers, using sticky notes, all that, if that's something that you all would be interested in seeing a more in-depth video tutorial on that, I would be happy to put that together for you all. Next, I move on to overlays after the base is done. I almost always use overlays, and I'll start with the bottom washi overlays and then do the full box overlays. For the full boxes, I'll either use actual full box overlays, or sometimes if I want a little less foil or a little less sticker to deal with, I'll just use corner overlays. They're very small pieces of foil that are meant to accent your corners or accent much smaller details in the full boxes. I find them easier to deal with, and if I don't want as much foil, it's a good option. My style is to have some foil on each box, assuming that I am using foil. If I'm using foil, I want to have some on each box. If I'm not, then I won't. Let's see. Next, I put down the events of the week in appropriately sized boxes. So maybe a more important event would go on a half box, or a longer event would go on a half box, whereas something smaller like a chore for the day like laundry might go on a small strip of washi or a quarter box instead. Then I will add the leftover deco from the kit either to any holes in the spread, maybe across the top, or to accent the bottom washi if it's looking a little bare. And I do often use the kit deco as icons as well to represent different events sometimes. That pretty much goes over my strategy for laying down stickers and planning my spreads. Again, if anyone would like to see a more in-depth tutorial on that, I am happy to put that together for you. Let's see. I got another question from Rachel Lyons on YouTube and on the Scribble Prints Co. Facebook group. She asked me to talk about books that I've been reading and listening to. She also left me a very sweet comment on YouTube. She says, "Hope you're having as much fun doing this as I am watching these videos." Thank you so much, Rachel. That was very sweet of you. And I did want to go over some of the audiobooks and print books that I've been enjoying. I recently finished my first audiobook. I listened to my audiobooks on Audible. I finished Defending Jacob by William Landaday. This was a very good book. It was kind of like a murder mystery. It's about a teen boy who's murdered, and the top suspect is the teen son of the assistant district attorney in the town where they live. So it's a somewhat high profile, kind of scandalous, and the boy who's on trial, his name is Jacob, and he's on trial for the murder of a classmate of his. The evidence against him stacks up throughout the book, leading to immense amounts of stress for the whole family and the town, and it's very suspenseful, and it explains the process of the trial in a way that makes sense to people who might not understand the ins and outs of the law and things like that, but it's still very interesting and gets into the psychology of the issue, which is very interesting to me. And it was an enjoyable listen. The second audiobook that I've finished recently on Audible is called The Cuckoo's Calling. It is by Robert Galbraith, which is J.K. Rowling's pen name, one of her pen names. The Cuckoo's Calling is the first book in the Cormoran Strike detective series. In this first installment, Cormoran has to solve the case of the mysterious death of supermodel Lula Landry. It's very good. It's very well narrated, and again, kind of suspenseful, but a good story. I liked it very much. There's also another central character, Robin, who sort of comes on to assist Detective Strike, and she's a good support to him, and a very nice character in the story as well. I recently started listening to, and I'm listening to now, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I think it's a pretty classic story, if you haven't heard of it. It's about the 5 Bennet sisters coming into 19th century society in their own way. It is a classic story about the importance of manners, propriety, and the complexity of falling in love in the 19th century. It's one of my favorite books of all time. I love Jane Austen. I was an English major in college and focused a lot on British literature, so this is right up my alley. I've read it several times. This is my first time listening to the book, however, and it has been very enjoyable, and it's one of those things where I've read the book so many times that I can sort of just have it on in the background, and it's just pleasant to listen to while I'm doing something else, like editing, things like that. Let's see. Now a little bit more about print books that I'm enjoying. I've been reading Becoming, which is Michelle Obama's memoir. It is broken down into multiple parts. First about her childhood, then her early career, her relationship with Barack, and being First Lady. I'm still in the section that talks about her childhood right now, but it's full of really relatable and moving anecdotes that explore her experience with struggling with her racial identity, which I feel like is very relevant to right now. Honestly, the current situation is what inspired me to start reading this in the first place. It's one of those books that's been on my shelf for a while, but I've been inspired to read it, and I've been picking at it little by little, and it's really wonderful. She's a great writer, great storyteller, and it's been a very pleasurable read to learn more about Michelle Obama. I've begun reading The Silkworm, which is the second in the Cormoran Strike detective series. I purchased the print version of this book to read after listening to the first on the audiobook. Again, it is by Robert Galbraith, J.K. Rowling's pen name. In this story, Strike is asked to solve the case of a novelist who has disappeared through his questioning and through his investigation, Strike learns that the novelist, Owen Quine is his name, his latest book, pokes fun at many high-profile literary figures of the day. So there's sort of the question of, who is the suspect? All of these writers who were made fun of in Quine's book could be a suspect. So it's just sort of him working through that mystery to figure out where Quine is, whether he has been murdered or disappeared, and why, and things like that. It is enjoyable. Again, the characters are well developed, and I'm currently reading that, so I'll let you know how I like it when I'm finished. I have several books sort of on deck to read once I'm finished with these, both the memoir and the novel. I purchased the first two Harry Potter books, the Sorcerer's Stone and the Chamber of Secrets. I owned the rest of the series in print version. However, the first two I had not purchased yet, so I did buy those on Amazon. I'm hoping to read those once I'm finished with my current book. I also purchased Letters to a Young Poet. This is a collection of letters written by poet Rainier Maria Rilke, I think. Feel free to politely correct my pronunciation in the comments if you wish. He writes about the struggle of choosing a literary career or a career in the military. In these letters, I haven't read it yet, but I've heard that it's interesting. It was recommended to me many years ago by Teddy, actually, or Teddy Geiger, as she's also known. I met her in one of her concerts many years ago and asked her what her favorite book was. She told me that it was this one, Letters to a Young Poet. I've never gotten around to reading it, so I thought about it the other day and wanted to pick it up. Let's see. Again, if there are any questions at all, please feel free to leave a comment down below or on any of my social medias, and I'm happy to address them. I would love to talk about different things in these videos that are interesting to you all. Anything like that. Let's see. And then there were just two other things that I thought I would just chat about for a minute. The first of which is just looking back on this spread, I've realized the importance that I placed this week on connection. I was able to do a lot of FaceTiming this week with my best friend. I was able to FaceTime with her for the first time in a long time, as well as my grandparents. I have my mother's parents live far away from us, so I was able to FaceTime with them. My grandfather really enjoys FaceTime and seeing us and chatting, so I was able to do that. And we had our weekly FaceTime lunch with my mom on Sunday, as well as a FaceTime call with my dad for Father's Day on Sunday. So it was really nice to connect in that way. It's been frustrating. It's been just kind of sad being just so distant, and just not being able to do what we want or feel the freedom to kind of go out and do things. Actually, right now I'm putting in that I was feeling stir crazy and just kind of over it with the whole COVID-19 quarantine situation. I was really kind of feeling stuck on Wednesday, I believe. I've been doing my absolute best to stay busy, stay connected, stay active, both mentally and physically during this time. However, this day on Wednesday, it got the better of me a little bit, and I found myself a little overwhelmed with just the state of the world, not only because of everything with the virus, but everything with the Black Lives Matter movement. And have been doing my best to educate myself, and I've definitely gained a bit of a new perspective on it, on everything recently, with reading and doing, some research and some introspection. I feel like, I probably sound like, like I'm just saying what you're supposed to say right now because of all that. But after doing some reading, I really do feel like I have a new appreciation for everything, and a sense of just understanding with everything that's going on. But despite feeling kind of overwhelmed, I was able to make the most of it and connect. I connected with my best friend. We were able to talk about some really important things that I'd been wanting to talk to her about for a long time. We were able to talk for over an hour, which is really wonderful. And I was able to FaceTime with my grandparents for the first time ever. That was great. I haven't taken the time to connect with them in a while, and I was feeling bad about it, but there's no sense in feeling bad. Just make the change and improve. There's nothing to be gained from what ifs and wishing and feeling bad. If I can make a change and do something different now, then better late than never. So talking to them was really wonderful. They wanted to know how my school year ended and how we were doing with staying at home, and I was able to talk to my grandfather about his garden that he's been tending and the work that he's been doing at home, which was really nice. It was nice to slow down and talk to them. And I was able to FaceTime with my dad for the first time in a while. And he just told me about how he was relaxing for Father's Day, and thanked me for being the reason that he gets to celebrate Father's Day, which was very sweet. Yesterday and on Saturday, I was feeling really inspired. I just got hit with this wave of creativity that's now created this brainchild, so to speak, for a new project that I want to work on, that I'm hoping will involve Etsy coming up soon. I have a lot of work to do to get it to that point. However, with that being said, if anybody has any advice, tips, or tricks, or anything like that to get started on Etsy, please feel free to leave any advice down below. I'm excited to move forward on this project. I don't want to say too much about it right now in case I completely decide to abandon it, which is entirely possible. But just with this time that we've been given, just sort of being at home a lot more, I'm glad that my brain and my mental state has kind of taken it to a realm of creativity and being productive and being artistic, as opposed to what could happen, which is just a lot of, anxiety and negativity. And I am thankful for that shift, I guess, that my brain has made to just sort of be productive and creative and to not just sit and dwell on the bad things in the world, even with, the things that are going on with the movement. I'm thankful that I've been inspired to learn and read and understand. Not even understand, because I, can't necessarily understand perfectly, but just the knowledge to be able to empathize with what's going on, and read to, do my part to try to understand and to empathize, and even just the fact that I'm feeling inspired to talk about it right now as a part of this video that will go out to the internet and hopefully inspire some of you to do some thinking of your own. That feels good. Reflecting on that, I'm sorry if I sound a little weird or a little spacey. I'm feeling a little off today, but nothing crazy. Our air conditioner is broken again, so we're struggling a little bit. We got a standalone AC unit that's plugged in our bedroom right now, so that's where I'm working for the foreseeable future. So I'm a little overheated, which might be why I sound a little sleepier than normal. I apologize. I do hope that you're enjoying these videos, and if you have any requests for future videos, please leave them below. Any questions or things that you'd like me to go over or talk about, feel free to leave them in comment below. Peace, love, and happy planning, everyone. Bye-bye.